Hi, this is Yaffi Lvova, registered dietitian nutritionist with Baby Bloom Nutrition, and this is Nap Time Nutrition every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Arizona Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. in New Zealand, I think, on Wednesday morning. And today we're talking about pregnancy and how nutritional needs change during pregnancy. And this isn't a topic that I've covered before, but why not? I do one-on-one counseling and small group counseling for nutrition needs from pregnancy through toddlerhood. And should you need any one-on-one assistance to maintain your health during that time period or your sanity, feel free to give me a call or look me up. I'll give you my information at the very end. Gives you a reason to stick around the whole time. So, when you're pregnant, you're not really eating for two. Well, in my case, you might be eating for three, as I have twins, but it's not really three. I mean, if you're eating for two, the other one is like that small, depending on the stage of pregnancy. So you have to take that into account. You don't really need twice as many calories, for example, or twice as much protein or other micronutrients. You do have increased needs for certain macro and micronutrients, but you're not really eating for two grown people. So good thing to keep in mind. So generally throughout a pregnancy, it's the amount of calories that you need ebbs and flows. So I'm giving you roundabout numbers that carry you through the pregnancy. It does get more specific to conditions, to your lifestyle, to stage of pregnancy, but I'm just going to give some general information and just my disclaimer. All nutrition information that I give on my Nap Time Nutrition is meant for healthy, neurotypical individuals. If you have any particular disease states that need nutritional consideration, I can definitely handle that. I do have a clinical background, but that's much more of a one-on-one as opposed to taking advice on Facebook or the TV or Google or Dr. Oz, just for example. So when you're pregnant, you need about 300 calories per day more than usual. When you think about it, that's not really a whole lot. That's a large apple. That's, it's not half a pizza, which I have taken down myself during pregnancy. But just to say, that's not really necessary. 300 calories. 60 grams of protein on top of what you would normally have. If you're having a multiple pregnancy, for instance, twins or triplets, you want to have about 30 grams of protein per fetus. So that can get really high. You're getting up to 90 grams of protein or more for pregnancy, and that can be daunting, and that's why you might want to seek some professional help in order to make sure that your diet is adequate not only for your health, but for the health of your growing baby. Your calcium needs go up, your folate needs go up. I've done, if you go to my lip and tongue tie video, I've done an explanation on the difference between folate and folic acid. Also, your iron needs go up, and that's a little bit tempered by the fact that you're not menstruating and your absorption actually changes. Something fascinating that happens while you're pregnant is that your body knows that you need more of certain nutrients, so it increases absorption and decreases the outpouring. Usually you would get rid of those nutrients a little bit faster, and your body actually holds on to them. So some nutrients don't actually require you to have more during pregnancy because your body just absorbs and holds on to them so much better. It's really fascinating how the body works. If there are also food aversions, often when you're experiencing morning sickness, there are going to be certain triggers, and those can be food aversions. For example, a year ago now, I found out I was pregnant with my little Daniel, who's upstairs with his friend. Adult friend, I should say that. He's upstairs with his adult friend. So a year ago, I found out I was pregnant, and everything that I ate that weekend became an aversion for the entire pregnancy. And I still can't eat tahini. It's a weird thing. I ate tahini that weekend, and now I just can't eat it because I'm still averse to it. That's a food aversion. It doesn't necessarily cause any problems unless you're really avoiding entire food groups. For example, you're averse to everything that has protein. That's going to be a problem that you want to seek professional guidance for. But for little things like tahini, fine. So I don't eat tahini, whatever. Pica is the opposite. Pica is when you have major cravings. It's okay, you can come down. You'll just be in my video. Pica is when you have major cravings for things that are not really food. For example, the buildup on your freezer. People get cravings for that, and that's a problem. Cigarette ash. People get cravings for it, and usually that indicates some kind of micronutrient deficiency that needs to be addressed. So if you start craving foods that's not really food, dirt, for example, you really need to consult with your primary care physician or your OBGYN to make sure that you are getting the nutrients that you need, and you might be referred to a professional, such as myself. You want to make sure that you have a varied diet, that you have snacks available and visible so that you have that visual cue, and drink water. Your blood flow increases so much during pregnancy. It's unbelievable, and you need to sustain that by drinking plenty of water. You need to make sure you're not dehydrated. Dehydration also can show up as depression. When you're dehydrated, you're going to show more depressive symptoms. So you want to stay away from that by making sure to be hydrated all the time. People get really concerned about weight gain. The recommendations are anywhere between 20 pounds to 30 pounds. It depends on who you are, what your activity level is, what your health status is, what your body weight was and your BMI before pregnancy, between pregnancies. There are a lot of factors that go into that, but really what it boils down to is take care of yourself, make sure you eat a good diet, make sure you move, and don't be so concerned about that number on the scale unless your doctor is concerned. You want to make sure that that baby's growing, but if you start out being significantly overweight yourself, you might not gain a lot of weight during pregnancy, and that could still be something that's healthy. So it really depends on you, and I don't want to get into there are all these numbers that people have, all these charts. If you weigh this, you should gain that. And it's really very specific to your individual physiology and health status. So I'm not going to get into any more of that. I did gain a lot of weight with my twin pregnancy. The recommended ranges are, I think, offhand 35 to 52 pounds or something. And it's really a pretty big range. And I was in there. That's fine. Oh, okay, here's one. I know Jenny said I don't have to do this live, but it's more fun to answer questions live. My sister has had cravings for soap and ice since her pregnancy with my nephew. He's 12 years old. She just recently got worse when finding out she has celiac disease and changing her diet. Should she speak to a professional like you? Yes. If she is still experiencing symptoms of pica, we need to look at her diet very specifically and break it down to make sure that she's getting the micronutrients that she needs. If she is craving non-food items, that's a major indication that she's missing something in her diet. Celiac could exacerbate that just because it's going to limit her diet more than it was, and it increases the chances that she's not getting what she needs. So when she's already starting out from a place of having some kind of problem with her diet, that will just exacerbate it. My little 14-month-old has caught every cold this season and has been nursing a ton for the last few months. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Tiffany. Yeah, you need to maintain your nutrition. You need to make sure you have your snacks and your water available and within arm's reach when your baby is nursing, because when they fall asleep on you and you can't move and then you have to eat, or pee for that matter, you have to be on top of that. So I would love to help you out with that if you can be more specific. Oh, up above. I'm not seeing anything else. I might have just seen part of your comment. So we'll get back to that. Exercise during pregnancy is important. There are certain exercises that might be limited. For instance, you might not be doing crunches the way that you did before. You might have to switch it up. I don't specialize in exercise specifically. You want to talk to someone who really knows what they're talking about concerning how you should change how you move during pregnancy. Prenatal vitamin. It's very important, and the truth is that it should really be prenatal vitamin, because you should be on a prenatal vitamin before you get pregnant, ideally. If you're of childbearing age, the recommended multivitamin for you is a prenatal vitamin. A lot of the really high quality ones are very intense. The one that I like is 6 pills a day, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. I try not to take them at night because B vitamins can mess with your sleep cycles if you're sensitive like I am. So you want to be sure to stay on top of that. both before the pregnancy, during the pregnancy, and after the pregnancy, through breastfeeding, really until you're like 60. Just go for the prenatals. And if you have multiple pregnancy, you really want to stay on top of your nutrition, your hydration, and your prenatals. So to get into some specifics on what you need, because that's why you're here, right? Some specifics. Calcium helps with bones and teeth, protects your bone density as the mom, and helps prevent high blood pressure. High blood pressure during a pregnancy can be very dangerous because it could lead to premature birth. It's also called preeclampsia, and it can lead to a lot of complications. So you want to make sure to stay on top of your nutrition. A lot of micronutrients that I'm going to mention have to do with regulating blood pressure, and it's so important during pregnancy. As I mentioned, your blood flow, your blood volume increases greatly, so you want to be sure to stay on top of that. Choline. We all have heard that folate and folic acid, although I prefer folate, helps with problems in the spine and the brain, but also choline can help prevent neural tube defects. It helps with strong bones, and it helps prevent increased blood pressure. DHA is good for brain development and vision, reduces the risk of heart disease in the mom. And I'm pretty sure that I've covered DHA before, but it's really important to have adequate fish in your diet. The sources of DHA are mainly fish and dairy. So taking a good fish oil is a great thing. I have a supplement that I love. You can go on my website under recommended supplements. It's babybloomnutrition.com. There's a button for recommended supplements, and I have the names there of supplements that I really like, and there's a fish oil there. Folate prevents neural tube defects, helps to prevent miscarriage, helps to prevent premature delivery, and helps to prevent anemia as well, which is something a lot of people don't know. Folate is actually a B vitamin. Iodine is really helpful for brain and nervous system development, helps to prevent miscarriages and stillbirth, and healthy thyroid. And a thyroid is really important, especially during and after pregnancy, because it can get knocked out of whack very easily. You're going to notice after pregnancy, if your thyroid is out of whack, you're very sluggish. You might be losing hair. There are a lot of different symptoms. It's always good, if you suspect that something is off with you, talk to your doctor about getting your thyroid tested, specifically after pregnancy. Iron, as I mentioned, it prevents premature delivery, and it helps to prevent anemia. Potassium regulates blood pressure again and fluid balance, and helps with energy. Riboflavin, which is another B vitamin, helps to produce energy. And these are some things that are often found in fortified grain products. Riboflavin is one of the major fortifications. B6 helps to produce protein for new cells and helps with your immune function. B12, metabolism and cell production. Vitamin C helps with iron absorption and helps with bones and teeth and your immune system as well. Vitamin D, vitamin D, big one, for mood regulation. During pregnancy and after pregnancy, especially if you're predisposed to depression, you want to make sure that your vitamin D level is adequate. It also helps with calcium utilization. Zinc helps with brain development and to grow and repair cells and to produce energy. I have a comment from Jenny. Good to know about checking thyroid after pregnancy. I had mine tested during fertility treatments and figured since it was fine, then it should be now. I didn't even think to ask. Well, I hope your thyroid's fine, but I'm glad that was helpful for you. So it's really important to maintain your nutrition during pregnancy. Not only are you working on your own nutrition, but you're working on your fetus as well. It's such an important part in your life. You just really want to be able to enjoy it and not be, sick on the couch, as so many of us were. And if you find out that you're pregnant with twins, you don't need to run out to the store like I did and get 1 million bottles of protein powder, which are still sitting in my garage unopened because, I really hate protein powder. So thank you for sticking around through Nap Time Nutrition. I don't have a topic picked out for next week, so please feel free to comment below with your ideas. I would love to hear them. I would love to answer questions that you have. You can find me on Facebook, right here where you are, Instagram, Pinterest, pinterest.com/Yaffi, Yaffi, babybloomnutrition.com, And I have a fantastic newsletter that's going to go out, so you can sign up either on my Facebook or on babybloomnutrition.com. And I'll see you next week for Nap Time Nutrition at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I saw Rosemma logged on. You'll have to update me on the New Zealand time because everyone changed the clocks and I have no idea. So thank you and see you next week.